So this is a review on derivatives, but knowing what a derivative is. So derivative is slope at one point. You could also say slope of a tangent line, but I really want you to say the word slope and have the concept it's slope at one point rather than slope at 2 points. And so if you're given a function like y equals x squared, then to find the derivative, we're going to use this formula. It's the limit as h approaches 0. We're going to take that function and plug in x plus h, subtract just the function without h, and then over h. This is the formula we're going to use to find the derivative. So we're going to do that now. We're going to use that limit notation. First, we're going to plug in x plus h. Then we're going to subtract, and then we're going to plug in x squared, no h. And now we're going to do some algebra. Now, whenever we do some algebra, we still need to keep that limit notation. So don't leave it. Make sure your work is organized. We're going to FOIL this, x plus h times x plus h. If we need to do that, then this is what you need to do, right? So do this work, and you'll end up with x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. We have subtract x squared. Keep writing the limit notation. Combine like terms. So x squared, take away x squared. And then what's left, we're going to factor out an h. And now I can remove it. Now I can plug in 0, and I have my answer. And this is the answer. That's the derivative. And the answer is 2x. Let's try one more before you have to do the quiz. So again, just to get warmed up, I want to find the derivative of that. There it is. So write it down. So we're going to use the formula as h approaches 0, big fraction line. Step 1 is to plug in x plus h. So we're going to plug in x plus h. We're going to plug in x plus h minus 1. So for both. Then I'm going to subtract, use parentheses, and then I'm going to plug it in with no h's. This is called the difference quotient, using a limit. And then we're going to do some algebra. So we're going to keep the limit notation. We're going to expand. That's x squared plus 2xh plus, we just did it, so I'm not going to do it again. And then plus x plus h minus 1 minus x squared minus x plus 1. So we're distributing that negative. And now we get to combine like terms. So we get to cross things out. So if I look carefully, x squared, subtract x squared, negative 1 plus 1, x, and negative x. So all that's left here, that which has an h in it. That's how you know you're doing it right. So we're going to factor out that h, and I get 2x, factor out an h squared, that's h. Factor out an h, and it's 1. Now the h is crossed out. Now you can plug in 0, and then you have your answer. Now what happens if I want to find the the derivative at a point? So the derivative at a number, like 1. So how would that setup look like differently? So if I want to find the derivative at an actual value, there's an alternate way to write it down. So this is what the formula looks like. So we're going to use x instead of h. And as x approaches the number we're looking for, then we're going to plug in the function, which is 2x squared plus 1. And then we're going to subtract, and I'm going to plug 1 into the function for a number. So if I plug 1 in, it's 1 squared times 2 plus 1. That's 3. And that's all over. If I look at the denominator, again, this one right here, it's going to be x subtract whatever that number is. So there's the setup to find the derivative. Now we're going to do a little bit of algebra. So we have 2x squared. 1 take away 3 is negative 2. We're going to factor this. So factor out a 2. And then we're going to keep factoring this until I can cross out the x minus 1. So x squared subtract 1 is a difference of squares. So I factor out a difference of squares. These obviously now are removable. I plug 1 in, and 1 plus 2, and then times 2, and you get your answer. All right, good luck on your quiz. Today we're doing it. Mr. G Math.